Yes, lads, how's it going? It's your boy H-Jamsters here for another video. Today's video, boys, we have got a review of FIFA 21. Now, this is my thoughts on what happened during this shit show of a year, to be honest, from EA. There's been a lot of things gone wrong recently with EA. And I thought I'd just make a video, so I've got three categories. Obviously, you're going to notice the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm going to keep it 100% here. The good is 5 things. The good is 5 things, and I have to scroll for the bad and ugly. So, boys, if you like today's video, drop a like. As I say, this is something new for my channel. I don't really do these type of commentary videos, but if you like it, obviously drop a like and tell me down in the comments below if you like this sort of content, because I'm thinking about making more of this content, maybe FIFA 22 related stuff soon, because FIFA 21's a little bit in the mud at the moment. But boys, I say like, comment, subscribe if you're new, actually. Do not forget to subscribe. Boys, we also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/xchamsters. Description box below, go give that a little follow. Boys, we stream pretty much daily. I would say FIFA content, but at the moment we're not playing FIFA. We're playing GTA RP, we're playing COD, we're playing other games, you know. We're not really playing FIFA at the moment. I've kind of, to be honest, I've just kind of quit, so it's not good. Right then. So, let's first of all, let's start with the good, you know. Let's give EA a bit of praise here. Hopefully one of them watches this video. So, I'm not going to just go in on EA. I'm going to give them a little bit of, you know, constructive criticism and stuff like that. Maybe where they could try to improve like, the way that they do stuff. Because the game's got potential. FIFA's got potential, you know, to be one of the best ever games, full stop, you know. It's got potential. Well, let's start with the good. So, the first thing that I said was passing on the half turn is not a thing this year. Usually, in previous years, you know, FIFA 20, 19, 18, the player used to literally just be able to, like, they'd have the ball, they'd trap it, and they'd just pass it behind them on a half turn, and it would be inch perfect every single time. Now, when you do that in FIFA 21, it trickles away from them. They lose the ball 99% of the time. Sometimes it works, but 99% of the time, they lose the ball, and that's, you know, it's unrealistic for someone to literally trap the ball and do a 180-degree turn and pass it perfectly when they can't even see the bloke, you know? So I think that's a good thing that EA have done, and I think that's a good thing for the gameplay specifically, because we all know the gameplay is a little bit mudded, but we'll get to that on it later. Another thing that I said was good. Skill councils. Now, a lot of people are angry at skill councils, but I think they could have implemented it a little bit better, I think. But the skill councils concept is very, very good, because it adds that little bit of a skill gap between people that can't skill cancel and that can skill cancel. And if you know skill cancel La Croquettes, mate, you automatically go up a bracket in the FUT Champs tier. For me, it's such a crucial thing this year. I actually think they've implemented it fairly well. Usually the people that are saying it's awful, can't actually do it. So I'm sorry, I've had to put that out there, but the people that, you know, say they can't, and you know, it's too OPs, they can't do it. And if you just learn it, I couldn't do it at the start, but I learned how to do it, and I literally implemented it for most of my games, and it just made me a 10 times better player. So I think skill council is actually a good idea from EA there. You know what? Fair play, GG's on that one. Could implement it a little bit better, maybe make it not as OP for some people, because it's a little bit, it is a bit what it is, you know. Also, the better card stats actually mean something this year. I was talking about passing earlier, and if you use, let's say you use a normal Musa Sissoko, like I used a normal Musa Sissoko in my team all the way up till Team of the Year. He couldn't pass. He really couldn't pass. But as soon as I moved to someone like Modric or an Aouar or someone who's got a lot better passing, you can feel the difference. Now, I'm not saying that passing is good by any means, but I'm saying the actual card stats mean something, you know. Like a Rodrigo, an 82 Rodrigo. He can't really score that many opportunities, you know. He scores a lot, but he also misses a lot. But you get a CR7. CR7 is banging it 99% of the time, you know. And people could argue this is pay to win, but I think it's, you know, the better players should perform better in game, you know. It's just fact, you know. You can't be running around with like 78s and stuff that are, you know, playing better than your 90 Ronaldos or your icons. I think that's ludicrous. So I think the stats actually meaning something this year is actually quite a good change, I think. Because usually, previous years, you know, we had an 81. Remember 81 rated Kante in like FIFA 17, bro? My man was literally in everyone's team for the whole of FIFA because he was that good. And stats didn't really mean that much at that point. Another good thing that I've said about this game is it's actually quite easy to make coins. So, trading, if you know how to trade, you're making peas. But you don't have to learn to trade to make coins and get your ultimate team. You can play rivals. You get rewards for rivals. You get coins. You can take packs, untradeable packs. You know, whatever you want. For foot champions, you can make coins again. And you get packs. And you get players and stuff like that. I think that is a very, very good concept. I do think that the champs rewards and the rewards need a little bit of tweaking, but I think that it's fairly easy to make coins, so that's probably a good thing in my books. You know, so players are a lot cheaper, and you can, realistically, a casual player can get their ultimate team of who they want. I've also put in the goods, and this is probably the biggest dub that EA have had this year. I've gone for the keeper, not the keeper. I've gone for that the upgrade packs are absolutely huge. And in my opinion, the upgrade packs are the best thing that has happened this year from EA. The best thing they have done. You know, people literally they are opening lots and lots of packs. They're actually enjoying the game, you know, opening packs, getting these new cards in the new promos that you seem to release every single week. We'll get into that in a minute. But I think the upgrade packs, the 81, if it's the 81 plus, if it's the player picks, if it's, you know, whatever it is good. Just make sure you don't do the 82 plus player picks, but you need an 82 rated squad. That's a bit ludicrous, boys. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think the player picks, the packs, the upgrade packs for promos and stuff, the ability to grind the game, recycle your club, recycle duplicates and all that stuff. I think that's a massive dub from EA, and I have to applaud them on that. That is probably the best thing that they've done this year. Now time to get into the bad. So this is stuff that's not ideal, it's not great, and EA should probably fix it, where the ugly is just the worst, the reason why this game is dead. So for the bad, I've started off with goalkeepers. That most 99% of goalkeepers are shocking or incredible. There is no in between. There's no, so your Nick Popes, your Team of the Season Edisons are up here. Your Areola, everyone else down here, to be honest. You know, there's certain goalkeepers that are so OP compared to every other goalkeeper in the game. And I think it's a little bit ridiculous. And sometimes goalkeepers make just absolute howlers. Like they run into the ball and they miss the ball and it's a goal. And they cost you a lot of games. I think keepers need a massive rework for next year because they are shocking in this game. You know, they're just not good. Like, they miss the ball, they miskick the ball, they pass it to the opposition player. It's not good at all. The next thing that I've gone for is SBC value of players. So, back in the day, boys, we used to get good valued SBCs, you know, for the coins and that. This year, I'm going to put two cards on the screen. They're an identical card, they're a gold Lucas, but one of them's a player of the month, one of them is a UEL live card, okay? I know, not even a UEL live card, it's a UEL group stage team of the tournament card. Here they are. Tell me which one you think is 255k and which one is 24k. I'll give you a minute. That is 100% correct. This card, 24k. This got you in FIFA 18. 24k for a player of the month, Lucas. This was his UEL live card that cost 200, not even a live, team of the tournament card that cost you 255k. It's got worse stats, and it's honestly, it's an appalling value. Honestly, it's one of the worst value cards you can get. Next thing we've gone for is a Freeze Wan-Bissaka. 400k. This guy cost you 400k. Not even got good stats. He's not got good pace. He's not got good really anything, you know. This is the reason why players played fullback at centre-back, and we'll get to that in a minute as well. But these ludicrously priced SBCs are the reason that people don't do them, you know? Also, for the final one, these are 2 cards, right? This is an 85 Sabitzer. This is an 88 Sabitzer. Tell me the prices of them, boys. Tell me the prices of them, boys. So I'm going to tell you now. This one, free. For free. You could get this for free. And this is both in FIFA 21, by the way. This is his storylines. This one was 450k. For 3 ratings better, I think that's absolutely ridiculous from EA. Honestly, shocking. Next thing. That's the SBCs. I could go on all day about SBCs, you know. But next thing. The market for fodder is absolutely ludicrous. And this comes down mainly to pack weight. That you pack nothing. But right now on FIFA 21, 82 rated cards are 7k. 7k per 82 rated card. Now, you could look at this as, that is absolutely ludicrous. Why is anyone buying an 82 for 7k? Or you could look at it as, EA may have shafted the market of these typical players in the hope people will buy FIFA points to then open 100k packs, get a load of 82s and sell them to make coins. Now, I'm just going to put it there. That's my theory on it. I think they've deliberately done this to make fodder expensive, so you buy FIFA points to buy them 100k packs, so you pack nothing, but you sell the 82s for 7k. Oblak during Team of the Year was 110k, almost extinct. Ridiculous. Like, Oblak was 20k at the start of the game, and he should be 20k. Only because he's 91 rated is the reason why he's worth so much money, and EA need to find a way around that, because it's ludicrous paying these prices for fodder. Like, you're buying players to not use, to just chuck into an SBC. That is not really on. You know, you've got to find a way to somehow lower these values of these fodder players. And also try and make these players actually sort of usable. You know, your Mullers. You can't use a Muller. I'm sorry. You can't use Muller. He's too big. He's too clunky. He's too slow. He's not good enough for the game. And that also comes down to meta, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the next thing on my bad list is the game's hard for new players to join like halfway through due to the skill curve of the game, you know. So it's hard for you to start a RTG. Obviously, you can make coins, but it's hard for an RTG player that, say, let's have a month. Let's have an RTG for a month player. Let's have a pay-to-win guy for 6 months. The pay-to-win guy for 6 months is going to absolutely crush the skill curve. Not the skill curve bloke. The RTG bloke for a month, just because of the team difference, you know. This bloke may have more icons. He may have good icons. He may have a Hullet. He may have a Ronaldo and Mbappe. This bloke may have a Rodrigo, a Musa Sissoko type of player, you know. So the difference is there. It's not great. This game is very tailored for pay-to-win teams, pay-to-win players and stuff like that. The bad, I've also gone for the meta. The meta could probably go in ugly, to be honest, but I think with every game there is a meta. It's just trying to make the meta as balanced as possible, make everything, all the game mechanics as balanced as possible. Maybe heading could have been a bit better. Hail Mary through balls could have been massively, massively nerfed. But I think that's half on EA for not acting quick enough, but also half not EA's fault, because they can't really dictate the meta. You know, the community dictates what the best ways to score in that. So I'm not going to go too hard on EA for the meta. Obviously, they could have acted a little bit quicker in the sense of, you know, they could have patched stuff a lot quicker, and they could have done stuff like that. But I'm not going to go too hard into them, because it's not really their fault. They tried. They've done a lot of patches this year. They've you know, when your game's 3 months old and you've done 4 patches already, there's something, you know, there's something up with you. You know, you need to fix that game. The next thing I've gone for, that there's no really fun mode in FIFA, to be honest. There's no fun mode, you know. Friendlies we thought was going to be a fun mode. Friendlies turned into worse than foot champs, to be honest. You're looking to try do your objectives. Friendlies is worse than foot champs. People would regularly go into a game have a look at the opponent's team, and if it's better than theirs, they'll just quit. And that's what they'll do. And you'll come up against that same guy. You'll come up against that same guy 2 or 3 times. He'll quit before the game's even started. And it honestly is so infuriating. It's unreal. FUT Champs, obviously, it's meant to be the competitive mode. You can't really have fun in that. It's meant to be the competitive mode, which is fair enough. Same as Rivals, it's meant to be the competitive mode. But Friendlies is not meant to be competitive. It's friendly. Friendlies, the definition of Friendlies is meant to be nice. It's meant to be a nice, easy, relaxed mode. Instead, it's one of the worst, most horrible modes ever, because it doesn't affect people's records. If it affected people's records, they'd probably act a bit different. But because it doesn't affect records and everything, people just quit for no reason. This actually links into the next thing that I'm going to talk about. Tactics. The meta tactics. Horrible. They need to rework the tactics system. It's too stupid and broken that you can literally beat opponents by having better tactics. You could be the same skill level as someone, but because you've got better tactics, the other opponent loses, you know? So, at the start of the game, it was drop back and constant pressing. That needed to be nerfed ages ago, but it wasn't nerfed. Pressing should have been nerfed. Everything should have been nerfed. There was a point you could only use a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1 or a 5-3-2. They were the only formations you could use. Otherwise, you are just putting yourself at a massive disadvantage straight away. And it was just completely unreasonable, to be honest. And finally, League SBCs are dead. I know we spoke about SBCs a little bit, the values of player SBCs. But the League SBCs have they've killed it. You don't get a player at the end of completing it all. You get untradeable rewards, so there's no real incentive to complete them. It's horrible. It is one of the worst things they've done this year, is just kill League SBCs. League SBCs used to be fun. They used to be a grind. You used to make money from them. Now you get untradeable players and untradeable 125k packs that you get an 81 out of. You know, it blows my mind. You don't make money from them. They're just a waste. They're just an absolute waste of time. And now we're on to the ugly. This is mudded. Honestly, the gameplay, for the first thing of the gameplay is not consistent. The gameplay is not consistent at all. I've played this game at 2 AM in the morning. It feels fun. It feels fast. It feels fluid. You can pass the ball with purpose. You can shoot. The buttons register. There's no delays. There's no nothing. And it feels very, very nice. Very, very smooth. But if you play at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, after everyone's come home from school or work, honestly, button delay. Players taking weird touches. Goalkeepers doing weird things. You cannot pass. You cannot shoot. You cannot do anything. It is honestly hard to play the game if you're playing at a peak time. I feel for all of you that don't play at 2 AM in the morning, because that's when the gameplay is actually good. Also, ping. Ping is a massive, massive issue for me this year. Whenever I go into a game, it says I've got about 30 odd ping, which is good. Very good for me. But when I get into the game, I get that little black box of death, which is about here. If you know, basically. I get packet loss, I get lag. But I'm meant to have 32 ping. Someone needs to explain this to me. Am I not connecting to the servers properly? What's going on? You lot have seen, if you've watched my streams before, you'll know I have a massive, massive problem with packet loss, with lag as well. Even when my ping says it's in the 30s, 32s and stuff like that. And that comes on that the servers are honestly the worst they've been. I think it's mainly because of the packs, the amount of packs and the amount of promos they're releasing this year is why the servers are literally crashing on everyone. People can't open packs, people can't play games, they suspend matchmaking. It's really, really hard when it's a promo, when it's a Friday or a Saturday, when realistically most people are playing the game. You cannot get on the servers. It's just not a good experience. And when you get onto the servers, it's just not a good experience. So For me, the servers need a massive, massive fix. We've been saying this for years to EA, that they need to fix these blooming, about to swear, about to say an F word, but they need to fix these bloody servers so much. It is, honestly, they are god awful. The next thing for me, and this, some people may disagree with me, but I've gone for the ugly, too many promos. There's too many promos, too much money grabbing, that they've not focused on the fundamentals of FIFA, which is playing the game and having fun with your mates. That's what FIFA, for me, and a lot of the hardcore men, women and men, the hardcore players, they remember the game as fun. You used to hop on, play your mates. You maybe played some divisions. You can't do that anymore. You know, you can't do that anymore. There's too many promos. And if you miss 1 week of promo, you have literally missed a million coins worth of upgrades to your team. It feels like. Every single time you miss a promo, you know, maybe you can't be bothered to go on the game, and you go on the next week. The teams that you'll be playing, the step up of teams that you've been playing is going to be mental, because of how many play-to-win players that there are, buying points, and then buying these new cards off the market, which are above the skill curve and just blatantly better than your players. Therefore, his team's better. But you could have grinded for him, or you could have put some money in yourself if you know, if you wanted to. You could have put some money in yourself and probably bought these players as well. But I think it's a bit ridiculous that there's promos pretty much every single week. New promos, new players, new SBCs, new everything every single week. And I think it's a little bit too much. We need breaks. But the problem is, now we're so accustomed to these promos every week, we don't want the breaks. For me, promos, it was summed up with Team of the Season. Team of the Season used to be the promo, the big promo at the end of the year, where you got the best cards, the best players, the most fun out of the game. Team of the Season is meant to be the most fun. And then, you know, we got really awful content for Prem. Amazing content for the Spanish and Bundesliga. And then it just tailed off and died. And it just rang home to me. Team of the Season isn't just another promo to EA. And that's where it really hurts me, because Team of the Season was my favourite bit. You know, packing, not even packing a good Team of the Season. I remember, I screamed the house down in FIFA 14 when I packed a Team of the Season Clint Dempsey that was worth 300k. And I screamed the house. Nowadays, I've packed like Luke Shaw, I've packed a Goretzka, I packed the Young Team of the Season. My reactions were nowhere near Clint Dempsey, and Clint Dempsey's an absolute baller. I'd just like to put that out there. But, and I think the ugliest thing of this year has been the community. And that's not EA's fault. Well, it's partly EA's fault for creating such a toxic environment. But the community is possibly the worst thing, the worst it's ever been on FIFA. People rubber banding, people abusing each other, threatening people, people abusing Twitch people, streamers, YouTubers, people abusing each other, attacking each other, saying people aren't good because they've not got meta players, and people abusing meta players, and the meta players abusing people that are trying to have fun. And the community is the worst it's ever been, and I might make a separate video on the community because it's awful. I don't want to go too deep into it because I've realised I've already gone 24 minutes into this video. My bad, boys. Sorry for that. The rewards for the top 100 players are awful. They're not worth grinding for. You know, gold free is probably the best you're going to get. You know, these players grind their arse off every single week to not even get 500k's worth of coins. You know, they grind their asses off every single week. Even in Team of the Season packs, you know, you've seen players get shafted on their reds. It needs a complete rework, FUT Champions. It needs a complete rework. It's outdated. And you need to reward the better players, because a lot of the better players are like, what's the point in even playing, you know, if you're not going to get rewarded? The next thing is the meta players. If you want to win games, you have to use the meta players Fullbacks at centre-backs are the bane of this FIFA and why this FIFA is the worst FIFA that there has ever been. Fullbacks at centre-back. But it's also EA's fault for releasing an Aaron Wan-Bissaka at 400k when you could have got a Kyle Walker whose stats arguably are better for 50k or 20k and put him at centre-back. So, it's not completely... EA aren't completely in the clear here. The fullback at centre-back meta has pretty much come from them not being good towards player SBCs for centre-backs, you know. They're really, really stupidly expensive. I remember the Showdown Kyle Walker. And then they released a... who was the other centre? I can't find the player. But there was a player that EA released literally after Kyle Walker, who was a centre-back who had 90-plus pace. And my man was like 500k. Compared to Kyle Walker, who was 200k. Which, to be honest, I think is absolutely ridiculous. And EA have kind of forced the way of people to use fullbacks at centre-back. Just because it's cheaper and it's better. You know, they're better at centre-back. Next thing, referees. Referees on this game are the most awful they've ever been on FIFA. Penalties. Oh, don't even talk. PTSD from penalties this year is a real thing. You know, they ridiculous for it. And you don't even have to touch players and they get a penalty all the time nowadays. It's so bad. Yellow cards that should be reds. People last man taking people out because they know they're not going to get red carded. Because they know it. They'll get a yellow card for being last man. So honestly, and they've not fixed it. They've not fixed... This has been since day one of this year. The next thing is FIFA points and the money-grabbing bastards that EA have been this year. Promos galore. The only way to get these promos are through FIFA points. And they've deliberately made Icon SBCs useless. We were so excited for Icon SBCs, but they made them useless. When they released Luis Figo, for example, the SBC was 1.4 mil. The guy, you could pick the man up for 800k. You could pick him up for 800k. And the man was 1.4 mil in the SBC. Honestly, I have no words for EA this year. I genuinely, this is the worst FIFA that there's ever been. The worst meta there's ever been. Five back with 5 fullbacks. Even 7, people literally used CDMs as fullbacks as well. Mbappe's at centre-back to start them up top in game. The game needs a massive rework. The game is... FIFA 22 has got to bring out something better than this bag of shit. I'm going to keep it as it is. EA, you massively ruined this game. This game had potential. I'm going to be completely honest. This game had potential. It got killed pretty much instantly. I'm not going to lie. But boys, that is going to be the end of the video. If you agree with me, like it. Comment down below as well if I've missed anything out that's not been good this year. Or if you want to actually praise EA and give them a little bit of praise. Because they have done some good things. I've got 5. And I've got about 20 things that are bad and ugly. But boys, that'll be the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, obviously like and subscribe and all that good stuff, boys. And I will see you on the next one. Peace!